Subscribe to our YouTube channel for in-depth interviews of India Inc. and press the bell icon so that you do not miss our updates.
Hello and welcome to Nirmal Bang, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Hiral Daria. We have with us Mr. MP Srinivasan, VP at McClay Financials, joining, and welcome to the show, Mr. Srinivasan. My first question coming to you over here is, with the last couple of months, what has happened? The government and the RBI has tried to infuse liquidity into the system. Now, taking the liquidity into consideration, taking all the policy actions into consideration, what's the sense that you pick up from here on with regards to the currency market?
As far as the currency market is concerned, we are at the moment current account surplus, and this year we are going to end up with a balance of payment surplus. It's a very simple equation, and apart from that, we have enough foreign exchange reserves. I don't expect the currency to fall rapidly unless there is some extraordinary events that is coming up, like oil prices shooting up to $80 and things like that. So, and suddenly big outflow of funds, these kind of things are not going to happen immediately. And as of now, money is coming into the country, and looking into the next year with the budget inviting more foreign funds into the Indian economy. I see the rupee remaining almost stable, or between 71 and 72 and 74 levels.
Right. Yeah. So, Mr. Srinivasan, let's take the RBI policy into consideration. The last policy, the RBI has kept interest rates unchanged. They've retained its accommodative stance. And clearly, if you see with regards to where, even if you have to talk about the restoration of CRR, they've said it will be in a gradual manner. They've extended the marginal standing facility and the Basel III implementation as well. What's the outlook that you have with regards to where the liquidity is concerned?
See, currently the RBI is maintaining somewhere around slightly lower than 6 trillion rupees. 6 trillion rupees liquidity. Here and there, I think there is a marginal difference here and there in the money market operations. But you have to see the message what the RBI has given, RBI governor has given during this period. The governor has said very clearly that we will manage the liquidity comfortably. And we have a very big borrowing program that is going to come up from the government of India. So the RBI may not like to really go ahead and reverse the liquidity. Two important information you have to take from the RBI governor's press conference during that day. There was a hardening of yields in the first week of January, which the RBI governor said that the market has misread the RBI when they were doing some open market operations. That is one important information. The second thing that the RBI said was, somebody was asking that such big borrowing program is going to take place, you are going to reverse the CRR cuts. What is the outlook on the liquidity? The RBI has clearly said we will be very accommodative, and liquidity will be maintained at the optimum level. It means very clearly that the RBI will support the government borrowings, and we don't see a very big shortage in the liquidity, at least up to the second quarter of this next financial year.
Right. So from here on, when we're talking about the liquidity as well, do you think that the gross market borrowings of the center for FY21 that they've budgeted at 12 trillion rupees, is that something that will come ahead to support the bond demand?
Yes. No, not necessarily. See, the 12, there will be more supply of paper. 12 lakhs crores is going to be the gross borrowing. Then net borrowing is going to be somewhere around 8.5 to 9 lakhs crores. This is actually a very good, very sizable borrowing that the central government is going to do. It will definitely affect the demand for the bonds. But at the same time, what the central government is taking some measures to include our bond issuance into the global index. So how quickly they are going to do in the next coming year,
Hmm.
that will actually attract more foreign investors into the market. As of now, the foreign investors have no room to invest in the government bond markets, government bonds, because most of them are it is limit is completely full. But in the corporate sector, approximately somewhere around 94,000 crores they can invest in the corporate debt, which actually they are not so enthusiastic about it. The limit is most of the time open. So if and but is always there, but my feel is that government wherever the government borrowing is taking place, the SEBI and the government will coordinate and the RBI will coordinate with each other
Hmm.
and open up more limits for the FIIs to invest in the
Hmm.
government bonds. So this is what I expect from the authorities.
Right. And
So,
what's your view on the absorption capacity of the market? Because the market really did not expect a further 80,000 crore borrowing program this year. So if you have to take FY21 and 22, the borrowing program is enormous. Do
yeah.
you think the RBI has not really announced any specific market intervention programs? And that's something which will be really needed because so far the RBI has been reactive. They've been doing passive yield curve control with specific actions, implicitly targeting the 10-year benchmark.
See, the RBI need not announce regular, I mean, a big calendar schedule ahead of 1 year, what I'm going to do as an open market operation. It is most of the money market operations are all done based on the situation at that point of time.
Hmm.
If there is going to be a good demand for the papers, the RBI doesn't have to do anything.
Hmm.
If there is more of liquidity in the market, the RBI can do open market operation. Anything can be done or RBI can do. It is actually a dynamic process what the RBI is going to do in the money market. So a schedule or something is not at all required.
Right.
Yeah.
So with this, the signal that the RBI has sent so far is that it does not want yields to rise.
Yes.
Do you think RBI will be able to control the yields as to where they want them to? And what are the tools that would be available at its disposal?
See, RBI, there are plenty of tools that are at its disposal. One is the yield curve management, like most central banks are doing. Like your Bank of Japan is one good example of yield curve management. So RBI can do a yield curve management by doing open market operations, not only the 10-year tenor, the other tenors also they can do. But if you see the last 6 months, the bond yields have shifted nearly 20 basis points. The yield curve itself has shifted 20 basis points higher.
Hmm.
So that is actually manageable for the RBI. RBI has allowed that. Definitely, there will be a hardening of the yield when there's such a huge borrowing program is taking place. But if it goes out of control, the RBI can always do the yield curve management.
Hmm.
That is one very simple term which we are using. To manage the yield curve, they can go ahead and do the open market operations. That is one thing they can do. They can open up limit for the FIIs. FIIs have a lot of appetite for the Indian government bonds. So they can open up the limit so that they can come and invest. Our ratings are good, and at the same time, our yields are also giving a very good return. So FIIs will have a lot of appetite to invest in the Indian markets.
Hmm.
So these two straight away, these two phenomena will help the RBI to control the yield curve rising.
Right. So where, according to you, are bond yields headed in FY22? Because already the 5.9% level that RBI was defending for a while has been pushed to 6.1. Do you think the risk remains that yields will drift higher gradually?
Yeah, I think there will be a rise in the yield. Mostly I follow the short-term yield curves of yield has shifted slightly higher, but mostly I follow the 10-year yield curve because that's a benchmark. I expect at least by the end of this year, uh, some rough calculation, every 1 trillion rupee, if the RBI takes out from the money market, you can expect at least 20 basis point rise in the bond yield. That means, suppose the RBI wants to bring down the liquidity from 6 trillion to say approximately 3 trillion rupees, then you can expect another 40 to 50 basis points rise in the 10-year bond yield. That means 6.6 to 6.75 are roughly that kind of a range.
Right. And overall, from here on as well, if you have to look at the Indian rupee, what's the kind of range that you are looking at?
Yeah, somewhere between 72 and 74 is the range I'm looking at. Reason is very simple. A lot of inflows are coming. The RBI is buying dollars, and the RBI has got quite a sufficient amount of reserves, more than the total external debt. So, I mean, maybe if there is a dollar demand from commercial demand comes up due to rising oil prices or something like that, but RBI can allow the rupee to slightly depreciate towards 73 or I mean 74 level or 74.50 level is quite possible. But I don't see a runaway dollar demand coming up in the immediate future, because the market FX inflows are going to be substantial in the coming months. So that is one factor. And your balance of payment and trade deficit are all under control. So that being the situation, we don't see a rupee of rapid depreciation of the rupee. I'm quite comfortable with the rupee trading between 72 and between 74 and a half or 75 maximum.
And then with this, to support the bond demand and enhance retail participation, they've decided to move beyond aggregator model and provide retail investors online access to government securities market. How big or how positive a move is this going to be according to you?
I think it is a good move, but I doubt how many of the investors have knowledge about investing in bond markets. One main thing with the bond market is that only the 10-year benchmark bonds are quite liquid in the market. The other things are not very liquid. One. Second is the Reserve Bank. Suppose I find that I bought a bond at one point of time, my market lot is going to be less because I'm a retail investor. Maybe I will buy if I am investing 10,000 or 1 lakh rupees or whatever it is. Depending upon that, I will buy the bonds, maximum 10 bonds or 100 bonds or whatever it is. Even when we are working in the bank, we find that sometimes there are not takers for our bonds. So if I'm going to sell the bonds, who will buy the bonds? The Reserve Bank has to take it at the current market price. If Reserve Bank assures, okay, if there is no buyer, I am willing to take it. That is one point. Second is, we find sometimes AAA rated corporate bonds are more liquid than the traded than the government securities. So it will take some time. It's a good move, but it will take a lot of time for retail investors to understand how to do it. We are all investing in mutual funds through the government. I mean, there are a lot of mutual funds which are offering bond funds like government securities itself. I mean, plain because they have volumes with them. If you want to redeem or something like that, immediately we are able to get the money. The same parallel cannot be drawn when you are a retail investor straight away entering the bond market and investing in the bonds. And bond retail investors have to be educated about what is a bond yield and what is the duration of the bond and what is the life of the bond. All these things the retail investors have to understand. People like us who understand the bond market can go and invest. There are very few people like I mean who know about the bond market. So it will take some time. Immediately, it will not be a very big. It will not create a big impact.
Right. And very lastly, Mr. Srinivasan, What's your view with regards to getting added on the global bond market index? I know we've been working towards it, but do you think that's something which is successful, will be successful, and will be a positive move?
Yeah, it will be a positive move, definitely. Indian bonds will have a lot of takers from the market, but at the same time, we have to be very, very careful that because hot money might come one day and go out the next day. So that is something that the Reserve Bank or the Government of India should have it in mind, so that you don't allow hot money and go immediately and create volatility in the both the bond market and FX market. This is what actually worries me. But our Reserve Bank, and I have a very good faith about our Reserve Bank and the Government of India, because they have handled very difficult situations in a very conservative manner. Whether it was the 96 crisis, Asian crisis, or any other crisis, they have handled in such a way that we have not been affected very badly. Probably the Reserve Bank will create enough reserves so that if there is any big outflow or something like that, they can defend the market. So it will be a slow process, but I think I will welcome this kind of a move.
Absolutely. I think everyone's waiting for this move to happen because I think it's a long awaited move that we've been trying. Thank you, Mr. Srinivasan, so much for joining us on the show. Pleasure speaking to you. Great insights and hoping to speak to you soon again. Stay safe.
Thank you very much. Have a nice day. Bye.